Yo, what's up, everyone? Hold up just a second. Take a breath, lean back, and picture this with me real quick. You're chilling on your couch after a long day, phone in hand, scrolling through your feed like usual, and suddenly these wild deals start popping up everywhere. Gadgets that look cool as hell for basically pocket change. Free shipping slapped on everything. Spin the wheel games that give you coupons like it's your birthday every 5 minutes, man. It feels almost too good to be real, right? Like, how are they even making money on this? And then, boom. Just like that, half the daily users in the biggest market on Earth vanish into thin air. Yeah, 52% gone in a matter of months. Holy shit, right? That's not a small dip, that's a full-on bloodbath. And the app everyone was crowning as the future killer of Amazon? Man, it's bleeding out pretty hard right now. If you're the type who loves diving into business drama, e-commerce battles, tech hype cycles gone wrong, or just straight up enjoy watching big players rise fast and fall even faster, buckle up. This story has layers, twists, and some real lessons buried in there. Let's unpack it all, no rush. I'm Rut. Welcome back to the channel, this little corner where we strip away the BS and talk straight about tech, money moves, wild market shifts, and whatever chaos is happening out in the world. If you're new around here, do me a solid and hit subscribe real quick. Turn on notifications too so you don't miss when the next one drops. We keep everything casual, no fancy suits, no scripted corporate talk, just me chatting with you like we're grabbing coffee or kicking back after work. Today, we're going deep, really deep into the Temu meltdown. From the insane rise to the brutal drop, the reasons behind it, what it means for the future, and what we can all learn from this mess. So grab your drink, get comfortable, and let's dive right in. First things first, let's rewind the clock a little bit and remember how Temu even became a thing. It launched in late 2022, backed by PDD Holdings. Yeah, the same parent company that already had a monster hit with Pinduoduo in China. They didn't tiptoe into the market, man. They came in swinging hard. Ads were absolutely everywhere. Super Bowl commercials that cost tens of millions of dollars, TikTok videos flooding your For You page, Instagram stories, YouTube pre-rolls. You literally couldn't escape it if you tried. And the prices, stupid low. We're talking cheaper than Wish on a good day, cheaper than AliExpress during a flash sale, cheaper than pretty much anything else out there. People were posting hauls like, I got a full winter wardrobe for $50, or this drone cost me $20, no way. It looked insane. How did they pull off those prices? Simple. They exploited the de minimis loophole to the max. For those who don't know, anything shipped from China to the US, valued under a certain low threshold, around $800 back then, came in basically tariff-free. No duties, minimal customs checks, no big delays. Temu could ship direct from Chinese factories straight to your door, keeping overhead super low. They were even willing to lose money on a ton of orders. Some reports said $20 to $30 per order in the US at one point, just to hook users, build habit, and grow the user base as fast as humanly possible. It was classic aggressive growth strategy, the kind you see in VC-backed startups that burn cash to dominate market share.
But prices alone weren't enough. They layered on gamification like pros, spin the wheel for random coupons, fake countdown timers screaming only 3 left, notifications saying 52 people just added this to their cart, referral bonuses where you and your friend both get free stuff, daily check-in rewards, flash sales that reset every few hours. It was pure psychological tricks. FOMO, dopamine hits, scarcity, social proof, all dialed up to 11. People got addicted quick, downloads skyrocketed, they shot to the top of the App Store charts in the US and other markets. The hype train was full steam ahead. Everyone online was saying the same thing. Amazon's in trouble. This is the new way to shop. Temu's gonna change everything. I remember scrolling through comments and thinking, damn, if they keep this momentum without major backlash, they're gonna eat a huge chunk of the e-commerce pie. It felt unstoppable, like watching a rocket launch in real time. But nothing that explosive stays perfect forever, you know? Cracks always show up eventually. Fast forward to 2025. The trade war between the US and China heats up again. Trump administration comes back swinging, and one of the first big targets is that de minimis loophole they've been complaining about for years. In May 2025, boom, they close it. Low-value packages from China now face tariffs, stricter inspections, longer customs delays, higher shipping costs. Overnight, the math that made Temu's prices possible completely breaks. Those rock-bottom deals, they can't exist anymore without losing even more money or jacking up prices. Temu's entire playbook was built around that free ride. Take it away, and the whole thing starts to wobble. Then, the numbers start coming in, and they're ugly. Sensor Tower drops the data. Daily active users in the US plunged 52% in May compared to March. Some analysts say 48%, others push it to 58%, but no matter how you slice it, roughly half the daily crowd disappeared in a matter of weeks. That's not a slowdown, that's a cliff. Shein, their closest rival in the ultra-cheap fashion space, only saw a 25% drop, still painful, but nowhere near as catastrophic. Temu's monthly active users fell 30%. Sales growth flatlined. Ad spending? They slashed it hard. Some reports said cuts of 80 to 90% in the US market to stop the cash burn. Prices started creeping up almost immediately. Shipping time stretched out in the reviews. They turned nasty fast. Complaints about poor quality, obvious fakes, items arriving broken, returns that were a total headache.
Once users bounce, they don't come back easy, man. Loyalty was never really there. People tried Temu for the crazy deals, got burned by slow shipping or junk products, and then switched back to Amazon, Walmart Online, Target, or even local stores that felt more reliable. I ordered from Temu once myself just to see what the hype was about. The pictures looked fire, sleek gadget, good reviews, but what showed up was cheap plastic trash that felt like it would break if you looked at it wrong. I laughed it off at the time, posted about it online like classic Temu moment. But when the prices aren't irresistible anymore and shipping takes 2 weeks, why bother sticking around? No ecosystem, no Prime-like perks, no real brand connection, just deals. When the deals dry up, the users dry up too. But here's the thing. It wasn't just the tariffs that killed the vibe. There were deeper problems brewing under the surface for a while. The business model was textbook growth at all costs. Lose money on every order to buy market share, keep subsidies flowing, hope volume makes up for it later. It's the same playbook a lot of startups use, but even a giant like PDD Holdings can't bleed cash forever without consequences. Quality control was another weak spot. Stories started piling up. Toxic materials in kids' toys, weird smells on clothes, electronics that died after a week. Data privacy concerns popped up too. Questions about how much user info was being collected and where it was going. Supply chain whispers about forced labor or shady factories in China didn't help. Regulators started sniffing around. The EU launched investigations, the US had hearings, some countries talked about outright bans or heavier restrictions. It all added up to erode trust. Competition woke up fast as well. Amazon didn't just sit there. They launched more budget lines, slashed prices on basics, and improved their own fast shipping options. Shein pivoted quicker in some ways, building more local warehouses in the US and Europe to cut shipping times and avoid some tariff hits. Other players like TikTok Shop and even Walmart rolled out cheaper alternatives. Suddenly, Temu wasn't the only game in town anymore. The novelty wore off, the deals weren't unique, and the bad experiences started outweighing the good ones. Globally, the pattern repeated. In places like Europe, Australia, parts of Asia, people chased the initial hype, tried a few orders, got hit with slow delivery or low-quality stuff, and bounced. No strong moat was ever built. No Prime membership equivalent, no loyalty points that mattered, no community or brand story people cared about. It was all transaction-based. When the transactions stopped being overwhelmingly attractive, users stopped transacting. It's almost darkly funny when you think about it. Back in 2020, 2024, the narrative was Temu is going to bankrupt Amazon. Everyone was sharing memes, haul videos, predictions that Amazon's days were numbered. Fast forward to now, Amazon's probably toasting with champagne while watching Temu scrangle. It reminds me so much of those crypto moonshots. Pump hard on hype, everyone piles in, then the fundamentals hit and it craters. Same energy, different market.
If I were sitting in the CEO chair at Temu right now,
I'd be losing sleep. They're trying to pivot, moving more fulfillment to US and local warehouses to cut shipping times and dodge some tariffs, but that jacks prices up even more, which defeats the whole point. Rebuilding trust, that's the brutal part. Fixing quality control across thousands of suppliers, dealing with regulators, convincing people to come back after bad experiences, it's not something you flip overnight. So where does Temu go from here? Short term, it's gonna hurt. Revenue is shrinking in key markets, stock PDD takes hits every time bad data drops, ad budgets stay tight. They might double down in regions where rules are still looser, Southeast Asia, Latin America, parts of Europe. But even those markets are starting to tighten regulations on cheap imports. Long-term, survival means a complete rebuild. Stricter supplier vetting, better quality checks, real customer service, not just chatbots, maybe premium tiers or loyalty programs to create stickiness. But going head-to-head with Amazon in a sustained way, that's an uphill battle most companies don't win. The takeaways here are pretty clear if you're paying attention. First, don't build your entire empire on a loophole. Governments close them eventually, and when they do, the house of cards can fall fast. Second, sustainability beats hype. Every single time. Flashy growth looks sexy on paper, but without real value, loyalty, and trust underneath, it crumbles when the wind changes. For shoppers, cheap thrills are fun until the product falls apart or takes forever to arrive. Sometimes paying a little more for reliability is worth it. For anyone building a business or side hustle, gamification and aggressive pricing can get you in the door quick, but stack real value, quality, and customer care underneath, or watch it all evaporate. Yeah, that's the full Temu meltdown story, from rocket launch to brutal nosedive in under 3 years. 52% user drop in the US alone? That's not a minor stumble. That's a full-blown crisis that exposed how fragile some of these hyper-growth models really are. What do you guys think? Is Temu cooked for good, or do they have a shot at a comeback? Ever had a Temu order that went hilariously wrong or surprisingly right? Still scrolling those deals, or have you moved on? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one seriously. If this breakdown landed for you, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications so you catch the next wild story when it drops. Thanks for hanging out this long with me. I appreciate you sticking around. Catch you in the next one. Peace.